Hi all. Thank you for your patience bearing with me. I have not taught an online class before, so hopefully we will be able to get through this and you will find that this is somewhat beneficial. I am going to attempt to break the lectures into smaller portions so that you have more easily digestible videos. For that reason, we are going to start with the Maasai. So there was a reading assigned for the Maasai, but because of extended spring break, that reading ended up not happening. So I just want to give you a little bit of background on the Maasai. They are a nomadic peoples. They are primarily in Kenya and Tanzania, and they are cow herders. And cows are wow, except especially important to the Maasai people. Cows are seen as originally belonging solely to the Maasai. So anyone who owns cows outside of the Maasai group, those were actually stolen from the Maasai, is how they see it. And the Maasai view their cows almost as their children. Only men are allowed to own cows. Females are not allowed to own cows. And this is a polygamous society. So I'm not sure if polygamy has come up in this class before. I think it has. But essentially, it is the practice of more than one wife per husband. I apologize. That is my cat, Anastasia, in the background. There's one cat here, or there are 4 cats out there. So this seems like better odds. So I am going to share my screen so that you can see the images of the Maasai while we talk about them, and this should be a pretty brief video. So this is my first, so thank you for your patience again. And we will go to the Maasai now. Okay, so the Maasai are most well known, particularly art historically, for their beaded decorations. So the Maasai are actually a people group that is a combination of hammock and Nilotic. So they bring traditions from both of these cultures into one. So, for instance, the ham portion of the peoples, it involves the removal of the 2 lower teeth from the bottom jaw, whereas the Nilotic involves the shaving of the heads, etc. So the women are particularly well known for their very specific appearance, which you can see here. And that typically involves the shaving of the heads, as you can see, and then the jewelry. So beaded jewelry is what they're most well known for. And you can see that they have these very disc-like necklaces. So you can see here what that looks like, and that these are composed of beads, right? And so what you're seeing, this woman is actually engaged in beading herself. So beads are symbolic of many things. And this jewelry, so where do you think the beads come from, right? We've talked about this a bit with the Yoruba people. And the beads were brought by traders, right? But then they became status symbols. So, and when I say traders, I mean specifically like the Portuguese, right? Colonization, etc. So beads are a status symbol within this people group, and they make these objects to wear. They are brides' a dowry, right, which is what the bride's family provides to the groom's family as a down payment, essentially, on the bride. It's a way of encouraging someone to wed the bride. So you can see here that these are really beautiful, but you'll notice that these are not continuous, right? So, and my internet connection seems to be a little bit slow for this, but you can see that these stripes are broken. You see this? And that has to do with the fact that the um, it is seen as almost it's offensive to have something that is perfect and unblemished and unbroken, right? So that is the realm of God, and it is natural to have breaks and divisions within um, anything. So you have veins of fat running through meat, right? This is something that's very natural. And so even when pouring milk, you'll find that, let me bring up my, oh dear, thank you for your patience, working on it. Okay, right, so you'll find that when they're pouring milk, they'll stop, right, kind of like that, in order to break the stream, because again, you do not want to have something that is unbroken. You want it to show the humility of being an earth-dwelling being. So, as I said, this is a polygamous society, and so you have wives who do not own property, um, and they can actually undergo some kind of cruel hazing from what will be their sister wives initially, and they're married quite young. So the young men in this group, they are warriors, and they are known as Moran. And the Moran tend to be late teens, early 20s, somewhere in there, right? And they wear a special warrior's hairstyle. It's very prestigious, right? It's a process of coming of age. And once they have undergone some of these initiations to become a Moran, they then are allowed to pick a girlfriend from the prepubescent girls. So between the ages of 9 and 12, the girls stop associating with boys their own age, and they associate with the warrior who has selected them, so the Moran. And again, this is something that is, sorry, that's my cat, is problematic to many Western viewers. But it is something where this is part of the culture, and you need to respect the culture without coming in and trying to control it. Sort of like what we talked about with female genital mutilation. And I do have a YouTube video that I would like you to watch, that we would have watched in class, relating to excision. It's not graphic at all. It is actually a video about a program that is being conducted to help girls be able to stay in school and not undergo excision. So they've developed a separate coming of age initiation rite. So anyway, I will share the link with that too. So once the warriors finish their initiation, then the girls are married off, and they tend to be married at a young age. As I mentioned, this is a group that practices both circumcision and excision. So excision, again, is the removal of the clitoris, so female genital mutilation to most in the West. So the Maasai are also well known for their jumping. They are particularly athletic, and they have a very distinctive look. So there is, this is a video of a wedding ceremony from 2010. So I'm going to play it, and the sound is just kind of the ambient sound, so it's not that important. But you can see here the women and the girls, they are dressed up, right? They are wearing these very discoid necklaces. And then you see, so these are the Moran. Okay, so these, well, obviously there are some boys in there too. But you have young warriors, and they are particularly well known for their athleticism and their extremely high jumps. And the women also engage in similar behavior. And when they do this, their necklaces kind of flap. And that's part of it, right? And the sound that the beads make, the necklaces, as it hits the body and it flaps, etc. So all of this is part of this performance. Okay, so that is the men. Okay, so let's see. So again, you can see here the various types of beading, the various methods of beautification here. There are there's a lot of meaning behind each color. You have various tribes and they wear specific colors, they don't wear specific colors. So it's actually rather regulated. And the colors of the robes indicate where they are from. Typically, the divide falls somewhere along the line between Kenya and Tanzania. So you can see here, these girls and women are engaged in, let's see if I can detail view. I can. Creating beaded objects. So this is from the 70s to 80s. And like that video that we just saw was 2010. So this is something that is still practiced. These beads are still worn, okay? So this is an historic custom, but it also is also contemporary, okay? And there are various beautification rituals, such as gauging of the ears, which involves actually cutting portion of the ear out and plugging it with leaves. As I mentioned, the removal of the bottom teeth, the two right here, which you can see in the video that I will share with you. So the Maasai, as I said, are well known for their beading. They are nomadic, and I want you to watch this video critically, okay? So we'll talk about the video some in class, I think. So I'm hoping to have a discussion in class where we can all kind of zoom in and talk about it, but not for the entire length of class, obviously. So this is a white woman who collaborates with the male leaders of this village to help these girls stay in school and undergo a variant of a rite of passage so that they are not being held out of school and they're not undergoing excision. Now I want you to think critically about it. Are there do you see anything about this movie, this documentary, that you think might be a problem? What do you think that is? Do you think that that is actually a problem? Okay, so I want you to kind of approach this critically again. So I appreciate you watching this video, and I will talk with you soon about it. Thanks much. Bye. Wait, no, not bye, not yet.